Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and today I have a fun technique. I'm going to be ink embossing with dies. I've been on a real die kick lately. It's really kind of weird, but I'm loving them. Anyway, I have some new dies. This is a new release from Ellen Hudson, and this one's called Tic-Tac-Toe. And what it does is creates a stitched tic-tac-toe line. And I'm actually adding some onyx black ink to the die, the cutting side of this die. So this is a pigment ink, so it's going to stay wet just a little bit longer, and I'm very, very gently adding it to the die with the cutting side up, and being careful not to touch it, because anywhere I touch is going to actually remove the ink. I'm just checking the edges of the die because the ink pads are soft. It's really easy to touch them onto the edge of the metal, and then it would obviously leave a mark you don't want on your cardstock. I've got a piece of square cardstock, and it's a Nina 110 pound, and I'm holding my die in place with lots of tape because I don't want it to move. I'm going to use an embossing sandwich, so I've got tab 1, a base plate, the die with the cutting side up, and then the paper, and my silicone, or you can use a tan mat, and then another cutting plate on top. And I'm just going to run that sandwich through my die cutting machine. You shouldn't feel any pressure because it's an embossing sandwich. It actually feels like it's not working at all sometimes, but it does, I promise. And you can see by the back that it has worked. You can actually use shims. Every machine's different. Just practice and work out what works for you and your machine. Alright, so here's the big reveal. Ta-da! How cool is that? So it actually embosses with the ink, so you end up with the dotted lines. And there was a little mark there, so I have used my mono eraser. If you haven't got one of these mono sand erasers, you need one. They are cheap as chips, and they get off those little spots, splodges, smudges of ink on cardstock really beautifully. Alright, I thought it'd be fun to make a shaker card today, and I've got the classic block alpha dies, and I'm spelling out I love you, or just love you. I said love you, not I love you. And I've also got another new die set called Confetti Kisses, and that's where the hearts and the lips have come from, and I've actually incorporated that into my pattern. And look how much tape I put on here. I didn't want to start again, and I was really careful when I was removing all of that. So the Confetti Kisses has lips crosses, noughts and crosses, is that what you call it, with the tic-tac-toe? And it also has hearts, so it actually makes the perfect companion die for the tic-tac-toe die. I was also thinking about it, and another way that you could get that black line would be to die cut it in the regular sandwich and then add some black cardstock behind. I have added some acetate behind the panel, and I'm now also adding some foam. This is some craft foam, fun foam, funky foam, whatever you want to call it. And I've got the 1/8 of an inch score tape, and I've added it to both sides of the craft foam. And I'm just cutting that down into a piece that's going to fit in between all my letters. So I'm basically making my own double-sided foam tape. Something like, is that what it's called? Oh, you know what I mean. And what I'm doing is making wells between each, and I'm not actually being overcautious on these wells, except for the ones that are around the hearts, because they're the wells that I'm going to be adding some glitter in. I have die cut some letters and hearts and lips again. This time I've used some black cardstock and some pink glitter cardstock, and I thought it'd be really quite quirky and a bit different. I've never done this before, is to add the letters within the shaker. So I've got the coordinating letters, and I'm being careful to make sure that I've got them facing the front, so the same way that the letter is die cut. So because I'm on the reverse side of the panel, I had to think just a little bit. This is some diamond dust. I love this stuff, and it's perfect in shaker cards. It's actually little tiny bits of glass, although they're not sharp, and it's heavy. It's awesome stuff, and it shakes beautifully. And I decided to add that to the 2 heart die cuts, and also some of the pink glitter cardstock behind in the wells, just to hold that in place. And then all that's left to do is add a little panel to the back. I thought it'd be easier to do it this way rather than try and flip everything over and make sure it's in the right spot. I've just added a false panel behind and used my ATG gun, and then I can just pop my shaker panel on the front of my top fold card. It's a 4.5 inch square card. How cool is that? I really like this card. I hope you do too. If you like this video, please like it. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Check out the new release at Allen Hudson, and I'll be back real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.